Here's a quick end of day wrap up. I did another video earlier, but evidently it didn't take, so I'm just redoing one. This is the end of the day swing. We talked about making sure you're paid by that 775, 750. Said lights out here at the 475 target. That holds, and then subsequently we get our lunch bounce. And that lunch bounce was pretty ferocious. This afternoon, we're still paying attention. This is our fast line, our slow line, and our fast chart. Excuse me. This is the 5-minute chart. And then once we get above this, then we're going to be looking to the 10s and the 15s and to see what they can do. And by the numbers, once we got back up and we're holding this 30-31, then it was the witch hunt to see if they could obviously pop back up and test that 49 to 50 area again. And it looked to me like they were going to try to jam the stops on the IB high, which was at that 52.25. So you have to try to remember when we get down the ladder and it starts to climb back up the ladder, we're looking for rotations. And this to me was a sign that we were starting to make higher highs and higher lows, and that for now temporarily the low was probably in, and look for the bounce and see how high it could go. Now, in the afternoon session, once we got to this high odds target back into that 62 to 64 zone, that was a measure that I had, and I thought above that was starting to get to thin ice. So that's why I made that post 68.75. It's one of our natural markers. And it did show up on another chart as being a pretty good potential resistance zone. So if you shorted close to that, you got away with murder with the second entry for the day. And in my opinion, that was the longs taking profits. So the natural target that I called for that into the close was to make sure you covered the retest of that 52.25. So 52 to 49, that's really the best place to make sure you're out. And then anybody wants to play around after that, that's up to you. So this was a good solid short based on longs wanting to get paid. It was a 15-minute chart, and once we got into that battlefield near 30, which I felt would be critical, once you undermine that 30, you've got to go back and do it all over again. And that's what I said this afternoon. Be careful, avoid trouble, because a lot of times what happens is the hunter becomes the hunted. So I like this 64 to 65 test up here, and then I thought the juice was above it. And this is a 60-minute chart, the W88 I call it, and this chart was a really nice chart. We saw several touches here, undermined. We got the bounce from that 7 to 5 zone. And once we start rocking and rolling this afternoon, you can see that realistically we did not have on a 60-minute chart, we did not get any red bars until the end of the day. And the tail formed right here. This was that line I was talking about. At 69, that 68.75, 69 zone. I thought this would be a high odds to hold the first time back there. I was actually quite surprised it got that high. I felt if the boys got it past this 62 to 65, they'd done well. So this was the jam, run stops, and then obviously profit taking into the close. And this is the 5 RTH chart. Got the angel to hold back here. This bar right here is your angel. Came out flying, stalls at the blue line, checks up again. We'd said be done at 1375. Below that, good fortune, and then off to the races. And then you can see just how the market starts to hold this blue line, and then we get this really fast push into the close. And here's your stop run bar right here. This bar was designed to knock out all of the intraday shorts that anybody who'd gotten away with a great primary trade in the morning. Got taken to the cleaners, and if they were still in, hoping to double up, whatever, stop runs were run into that 79 zone. So high odds retest was back into this rain line and just above it, and then you've got to be cautious because you have to think somebody on this kind of a bounce is going to want to take profits. At least that's the way I think. And then this becomes our new demon. So the angel is born to test the demon, and the demon is born to test the angel, and the battle is in between. So currently that's what we've got. We've had a ferocious sell-off, and we should expect some profit taking from this kind of a drive. The war is not over. We obviously will be using 31 as a basis for a few days, and let's see what the longs can do with the ball overnight. Usually these ferocious rallies in a bear market or corrective market will roll over within a day or so and back to the short side again. This is E signing off for eminingwizard.com.